it'll all go weird, you see, because it's not going to be sort of spontaneous now. I feel a bit uncomfortable, you see.
All right, no, that's okay. We'll forget the camera. He's just, just stand back just a little bit. It'll pick up the sound there. So you've heard about fracking before, then?
Yes, I know exactly what the drilling is to do with the gas. Yes.
Yeah. Do you know how it works? Do you know how the process
I know exactly
works?
how it works.
Okay. So you know the difference between conventional and unconventional geology?
I don't think for a second there's going to be any displacement with our planet structure from it. We've been drilling for oil for years and years and years. Tapping and finding some gas, I don't think it's going to be any problem.
Okay, but you know that this process of getting the shale gas and coal bed methane is very different from the 2,000 oil wells that have already been drilled in the country.
I ain't no professor sort of bazinga.
Yeah.
But I think there'd be no problem with it at all. And you know, we're really struggling with sort of petrol, oil-based sort of carry on. And I know it's not going to bloody work, but I think it's going to be okay.
But if I told you that everywhere in the world, in the US, in Canada, in Australia, where they have used this process to extract shale gas or coal bed methane, it has resulted in the contamination of the water supply everywhere, and people have literally had to either leave or get their water from the gas company because they can't get it from the natural water supply. Would that give you any cause for concern?
No, the only cause for concern with me, sir, is a paycheck at the end of the week so I can support my family, and I will push all this to the back of my mind as long as I get paid.
No, I understand. Obviously, being paid is important, but if the water supply is effectively poisoned.
Are you honestly trying to tell me that the water supply on this planet is non-functional? We've got 2/3 of the planet full of water. If we can't extract salt out of that water and run methodically and put water on the planet, we need help.
We do need help, perhaps. Yeah, no, you're right. Desalination does work. It's a very expensive process, but it certainly works in places like the Middle East, where the water supply for Dubai, for example, comes from desalination. But in this country, we're reliant on the water from our aquifers and from our reservoirs and from the lakes. In fact, Manchester gets a big chunk of its water from the Lake District.
I don't want to get political because.
No, it's not political at all. There's no political issue here whatsoever.
I think there's a political issue, definitely to do with utilities, to do with water. I think there is a political issue.
But it shouldn't be political, should it?
No, not at all.
It shouldn't be political at all.
Because
waters are fundamental to life.
But I think there's still a problem with that, with the utilities in the country.
Yeah.
And how it's. Hey, Shawnee.
Yeah, point, okay. What do you want? What do you want?
This is Shawnee.
Hi, Sean.
No, don't fool you on the camera.
No, I won't, don't worry.
What do you want?
Water, glass of water, please. Very good, that Bob.
Very good, yeah.
So, for or against, sir?
Well, I'm concerned about the water supply, to be fair, because I've seen this process used in the US and in Australia. In fact, I was in Australia last year talking to farmers who can no longer farm their land because the water has been poisoned by the process.
I understand where you're coming from contamination to do with which is acres and acres of land to do. Is there that much information for you that makes you sort of think that that's a problem?
Yeah, because what's being proposed here at Barton Moss is a single well, but that's just the start of the process. Because if they find the gas, and they probably will, to be fair, they probably will find the gas.
It's there, sir.
Absolutely, no question.
Without a doubt.
But once they drilled that, and once they've established that the gas is there, then they're going to want to have probably 6 to 8 of those pads on every square mile, literally right across the whole, potentially, of the north of England.
Have you any ideas, sir, bring us off this, have you any ideas of what we can do for fossil fuels?
Well, there's plenty of ideas. I mean, obviously, if we stay with fossil fuels, for example, I mean, the Japanese, because they don't want to frack in, because obviously it's very volatile in terms of earthquakes in that part of the world. So what they're doing is they're looking at a technology to extract what's called subsea methane hydrates. But even that's, in my opinion, that's not a great idea.
Is that actually extracted out of the soil?
Out of the deep, it's subsea frozen.
It's not gas. It's actually extracted out of the soil.
Yeah, deep underground, very deep underground, and it's under the sea. Okay, so I mean, it's not a great idea. There's other problems with that, but you know what it's not doing is it's not fracking on land, and it's not running the risk of contaminating the water and the soil. I mean, they've got a problem with Fukushima, obviously, anyway. Period. But you know that would just add to the problems.
I don't think there's a problem with actual companies which are actually trying to sort the problem out. I don't think they're doing that much damage where we're actually worried about contamination and hurting people. I think they're just trying to find a bloody solution.
They possibly are, and that solution obviously will reap them some very, very high rewards.
High five with that. We know exactly what that is, but they're having a look.
They're having a look, yeah. But I mean, the only places in the country where this has been done so far was in the Blackwall area, in Priest Hall, and they drilled 2 wells, they fracked the 2 wells, and they ended up with 2 earthquakes, and the well was damaged.
So you're really sort of adamant that this fracking is going to start tsunamis and
well, not so necessarily tsunamis. I mean, we're not talking.
We're going that way, aren't we?
Well, you know what we're looking
slip
at.
Blade sort of carry on.
Potentially, absolutely. That's exactly what happened in Blackwall. Exactly. I mean, I've actually been into properties there, and obviously you don't see any external damage, but I've been into the houses half a mile from where they did the frack, and ceilings have lifted away from the walls, or door frames have come away from the walls. So it's all relatively minor damage. But you know, nonetheless, it's the only 2 times that this technology was used in this country, and it's caused the damage.
It's been lovely to talk to you, sir, about this, but I can't see any option you're going to give for us. Have you got an option?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's not necessarily everybody's cup of tea, but in Germany, literally in the space of 2.5 years, because they want to shut down their nuclear program after Fukushima, they want to shut their nuclear program down. So in 2.5 years, they've managed to get 42% of their electricity supply now from renewables, such as wind farms and solar farms. Now, I'm no lover of the wind farms because I think they're an eyesore, but solar farms, on the other hand, I have absolutely no problem with. I actually live in the southwest of England, where there's a number of solar farms.
I'm from Todmorden, and we've had them on the top of the hill there, up Todmorden near Burnley.
Oh, the windmills.
Yes.
The turbines,
for years and years and years, and you know, it can run a town.
Yeah.
It can run a town. It can.
So that's another option. But I mean, I agree with you. You know, we've got to find a way to get off of the hydrocarbons.
You must know something about the work that's going into the fusion.
Cold fusion, absolutely. I know there's no question there's a lot of potential in these alternative technologies, and obviously what we should be doing is certainly putting more effort and more resources into developing them.
They reckon that particle fusion chamber there can run the planet 3-4 times over in about 5 seconds.
It probably could, and one of the primary reasons that we don't have the research into that is because the oil companies, you know where I'm going with that, they don't want it. So what is your name?
It's Timothy.
Timothy, hey, it's good to see you. I'm Ian.
Nice to have a chat.
And you don't mind me putting this on one of my
Not at all,
YouTube programs?
We've had a good chat there, sir.
Timothy, appreciate it.
And you put your point across there.
And you, thanks a lot. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.